Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. With the promo code Dangle, you too can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Promo code
Dangle.
Thank you. Let's start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
SDPN. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Hey, question for you.
Yeah?
Did we all forget Friday happened?
Yo, I was actually going to open the show with that. I can't believe both games 3 and 4 happened since our last show.
They did. And it's the tale of two cities. It's two very different outcomes.
Oh, Mark Twain.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
Oh!
It was the best.
Books!
Best of times. It was the blurst of times.
Yeah. Mark Twain, Mr. Burns.
I got to tell you,
A monkey.
That's true, actually. It wasn't Mr. Burns who wrote
wasn't
that.
Mr. Burns.
You're right.
the
It's
gritty
one of his
game the
employees.
Leafs won on Friday seems to have completely erased itself to all the reporters and all the fans of Leafs Nation in 48 hours. And I don't know how that's possible. Listen, I want to remind you of something before we get into this.
Yeah, what?
You know who's also tied 2-2 is Tampa.
Almost everyone? except
Almost
for
literally
Colorado?
everyone. And need I remind you that at the recording of this podcast, Florida is down 2-1, and so is Calgary. The series, there's a reason why in my bracket I picked them all basically to go to 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
And the only one it looks like that won't is Colorado.
Yeah, it's the NHL playoffs. It's usually 6 or 7 games because these teams are very evenly matched because they manage to manufacture parity into the league.
The only person on planet Earth who I saw had the Leafs winning this series in less than 6 games was producer Drew. And he said Leafs in 5.
That's him trolling.
I think it's him trolling, and also he's wrong. Now he's officially wrong. So, but a lot of Leaf fans were like, you know what? It's going to be tight, but I think they can do it. I think they can do it in 6 or 7. And now that it's here, like game 4 happened, there's going to be a game 5 and 6 guaranteed, and pretty likely a 7, I think. Now that it's actually here, no one wants to know how the sausage is made.
Yeah, to get to 6 games, you need to lose 3. You know, or to get to 7, you need to lose 3 at minimum. You know,
and the guy who
6-2 though.
6.
You're not wrong.
6 you could be up 3-2,
Yeah,
right?
And the guy who freaks out and wears a heart rate monitor for your entertainment is here to say, calm down.
So this is the thing.
That's enough.
So what I think people are asking, and rightfully so, which Leafs are the Leafs? Are the Friday Leafs
Yes.
the Leafs, or are the Sunday Leafs the Leafs?
They both are.
Yeah.
Which are the Lightning?
No, but I think you know what I'm talking about. In the context of history,
Sure.
the Sunday Leafs are more what we're used to seeing in previous years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's why people instantly go to the worst imaginable place. I saw some crazy takes online last night. I've seen people say blow it up. Dubas is gone. Matthews was selfish for getting 60 goals. Yes, I did see that from a Leafs fan. I cannot begin. As Steve always says this, when you say, can you believe I saw this on the internet? Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
There's so many people.
But we are tied 2-2 with the defending champions. Now, a lot of people didn't like the way the Leafs lost last night. Line 1,
They played
line
like
2, poopy.
Poop.
Mhm.
Now, there's a couple of reasons for that, but
Line
let's
3, line 4. You didn't have to stop
yeah,
at line 1
yeah,
and 2.
yeah. Even
Like-
Comp's line wasn't great.
Oh my God, no.
But let's start with the Hall Giordano non-option pairing that was immediately clear from the first minute last night.
That's enough.
Well, okay. So this is what bothers me. All right. It's what bothers me. There are, and I was going back and forth with Stephen Birch today a little bit too. There are a lot of metrics that say Justin Hall is an effective NHL player.
Yeah. XG.
And,
big one.
and for sure. And I'm not going to try to take that away. But what I would say is that of all the definitive NHL defensemen the Leafs have, he's the 7th best.
Well, I seem to remember Dermott doing really well in those numbers too. And what if Sheldon Keefe just deploys his third pairing really cleverly?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh, Liljegren's numbers are great. Well, he was also on the third pair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like what if I know they're poor in this series, but to me that's 4 games.
Right. And I think from the first minute you see why Justin Hall 5-on-5 is sort of a non-option. Because you could start you start your defensively your best your best line, which is the conf line with Mikheyev, and you start the probably the defensive line that you're most worried about, which is Giordano Hall, right away.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that is that Stamkos and Ross Colton are on the other side. And
See, they weren't.
No.
Oh, wasn't that?
Stamkos got on via a line change.
Oh.
Tampa had a game plan, and this is where John Cooper fed Keefe his lunch a little bit. So Islanders game to end the season. So that's only like 7 games ago. Islanders get it deep. Ross Johnston goes around the net, crushes Mark Giordano. The Lightning look at that and they go, that looks like fun. And they do almost the exact same thing. They get it deep. Ross Colton goes and gets Giordano, nails him. Tampa's able to get reinforcements over the board. I know they got at least Kucherov and Stamkos. They put pressure on, sustained pressure on that pair who didn't get a chance to change. And they got scored on. Hall coughed the puck up and then screened Campbell. I did see the argument.
No, it wasn't that he coughed it up. He gave it away.
He gave it away because
There's no reason for him to make that play.
Well, the reason is Kasha should be available there, as Anthony Petrelli pointed out today on Twitter, and I think it's a good point. But he should be available. He isn't.
So don't throw it.
He isn't, right? Yeah, or glassing out, or behind the net, or anything would have been better than what he did. Now, I've never played hockey with Nikita Kucherov barreling down on me.
Yeah, it's true. It's scary.
I suppose it's terrifying, but I mean, why then is that pair out there to start the game?
Mm-hmm. With that play, it's when an NHL team scores on another NHL team, there's a number of things that go on that happen that lead to the goal, because goals usually are caused by mistakes.
It's a team failure.
And in that moment, the forecheck by Tampa was incredible, as you described it. Them coming out right away, having a game plan on literally the puck drop. It was fantastic to see. Them getting the line change, getting the stars out there. That's what allowed them to pick up the puck after that strong forecheck. Hall not having Kasha was definitely a thing. Like, Kasha was in the wrong position having the breakout. He left the zone way too aggressively.
And wasn't looking.
No, and wasn't looking for the pass at all. And then Hall's decision-making on that play to still try and feed him the puck, or feed the puck wherever he was trying to go with it, was awful. There's like 8 different micro things that happened in that one play. But you can break it down to, hey, that was a bad decision. You guys need a better game plan. And everything there by the Leafs was underwhelming.
Well, but this is the thing, is that this is what people have been complaining about, where the apprehension with Justin Hall comes from. Mm-hmm. Yes, those micro things are going to happen. That's hockey. Hockey's chaotic. Hockey is literally mistake. Oh, I got that right and scored a goal. Mm-hmm. Right? That's literally how the game works.
I got that right and scored. Like the second goal, that's one of those ones where you go, fuck my life.
Yes.
Yeah, the Muzzin play.
100%. But
it's
this
a shitty balance.
So this is my problem. Okay, so yeah, the refs are calling a lot more penalties this series. So you're literally playing a guy,
nothing to do,
quote unquote, penalty kill specialist. Yeah. Bullshit. I don't think so. I think Steve, you nailed it at the end of the show last week, or the end of the Leaf segment last week on Friday, when you said he's won a cup. He won a Memorial Cup with Justin Hall.
Called a cup.
Or called a cup.
Yeah. He won one with Liljegren too, but
Liljegren, like there is no arguing here. Liljegren's a better fit on this defensive line right now. And don't tell me the penalty kill, which was the best part about the Leafs play in their first win, needed Justin Hall. You have 6 guys who can do it.
Last night they went 1 for 8 on the power play. Tampa, their penalty kill was incredible last night.
Is
the
Leafs had 8 power play? Are you sure you're not talking about the last 2 games?
No, it was last night. They had 8 penalties.
Holy shit!
Really?
Yeah, and
Jesus, that's got to change.
The only goal there was the 5-3.
I think you're talking about the last 2 games.
Last 2 games? Is that last 2 games
it's
overall?
The last 2 games. Yeah.
The only goal in the last.
I'm looking
is
at
the
this.
5-on-3.
Yeah. So the Leafs penalty kill did do well, but is that enough? You know what I mean?
No.
How much
Jesse's
do you
right.
think-
Yeah, that was all last game. I'm not.
Tampa went 1 for 8.
Last game there was 8
1 for
penalties
8.
by the Leafs. Tampa went 1 for 8, and the only time they scored was on the 5-on-3. The Leafs penalty kill was absolutely
But that's not Justin Hall
It
alone.
wasn't all Justin Hall. That's on the coaching staff creating a great penalty kill. But if Justin Hall is a key part of that, and they feel that, I understand the argument having him out there, because that 1 for 8 is not insignificant.
Right. Well, he stopped it from being 6 or 7-3 rather than it was 7-3.
I'm just gonna have my phone out because I just want to see the fireworks when it's announced that Sheldon Keefe in Game 5 is going with the right side of Brody, Liljegren, Hall.
Over Giordano? No way.
No, sits Lyubushkin.
Oh, well, there have been...
was shit.
Yeah,
I think
he's had some struggles.
the right move from Keefe is to not be bullied by the media to try and get to benching.
I'm bullying.
Justin Hall.
Put Liljegren back in.
Steve Simmons last night probably put Justin Hall into the lineup. No hyperbole.
I hope not.
No hyperbole.
I hope
So you
not.
can't go out.
Hold
I
on.
don't-
Before
yeah,
you get
I don't
into
think
breaking it down, play the clip.
Let's play the
So
clip.
that there's context.
Right.
And then get into it, guys.
By the way, I never heard confirmation that it was Simmons.
Apparently it was. I don't know. It's an interesting...
I mean, if the shoe fits.
This is an interesting way to ask a head coach a question. Let's just put it that way before we... Do you need it?
I got it here.
You start your worst defenseman in a building knowing it was going to be this loud and this crazy.
Who's our worst defenseman?
Justin Hall.
It's your opinion, I guess.
Sheldon, why would you start your worst defenseman in a building knowing it was going to be this loud and this crazy?
Who's our worst defenseman?
Justin Hall.
It's your opinion, I guess.
Also, he didn't... Justin Hole.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Underratedly, the most insulting part of that question is not calling him the worst defenseman on the Leafs. It's not knowing his fucking name. It's Justin Hall. It's been Justin Hall for several years now.
Listen,
Come on.
I don't disagree with his assessment. I don't think Justin Hall is... If Sandin's playing, I don't think Justin Hall's in the top 7. But I do say... I do think it was a bit of an aggressive way to go at the question.
It
seems like... Well, yeah, because he's trying to get on... He's trying to be the story rather than letting the question be the story. Keith's not going to answer that, especially when you put it that way.
And by asking that question in that way, now Keith has to play Justin Hall.
I don't think so.
Yes, he does.
Nah, they don't care about
What's the storyline if he benches him?
Who cares?
Who cares if you win?
If the Leafs care about that, then just fuck it.
Who cares
Surrender
when?
Game 5 and 6 and go home. If they care about that, just surrender Game 5 and 6 and go home. I don't think they can care about that. I was in a group chat last night and they were arguing about like what purpose does that question serve? It's a bad question. How do you even write around that question? And I disagreed with the idea that it was a bad question because you can easily write around that. And the way I did it in the LFR is Sheldon Keefe said he's the worst defenseman by benching him in Game 1 of this series and in Game 2 and the ensuing benching or scratch, that's going to happen in Game 5. That's what I said.
I wondered too when we're talking about, like, I know that Muzzin and Brody have had some good numbers together, but Riley Brody they've had good numbers. But to me, Riley Brody was solid last year. I don't know. Can you not manage Lyubushkin's minutes a little bit better and bring him further down in the lineup? Is there a different way to deploy him to make him more effective? Because he's obviously not the greatest puck mover. People are getting on him a little bit, and I think rightfully so. The first couple of games, I thought he was good, and then he was getting in the offensive play and setting people up for goals and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, it does seem Lyubushkin was not acquired to be the guy that played with Morgan Riley.
Well, here's the question. Are we galaxy braining this a little too much?
Maybe.
Because you know how many lineup changes, like literally line switches, Tampa has made in 4 games? One. They took out Jan Ruda for Game 2, and they put in Zach Bogosian, and he's never come out. Line 1 has not changed. 2, 3, 4, pair 1, 2, 3. Nothing has changed. Not a thing. And the Leafs are like juggling, and they got this amazing Jenga thing going on, and Tampa hasn't had to make a single adjustment in the lineup. All their adjustments have been the players playing differently.
Sheldon Keefe is tinkering way too much, especially in game. I don't need Kerfoot on the first line because you think it's going to be more defensive. Just play Bunting. You do that. What's the point of the 82 games of the regular season?
Maybe he needed the rest Bunting. Maybe Bunting's hurt, and I don't know.
But what's the point of the 82 games? Wasn't that the time to figure out the lines? Why do we have to 8 different line combinations in game in the playoff?
I think Game 5 he needs to go back to the way he started the series. Bunting in his usual spot. I want to see Kerfoot with Tavares. And who did they have? Kerfoot, Tavares, Kasha, you could do. And then Willie, Kampf, Engvall. No, Mikheyev, sorry.
Engvall on the 4th.
Oh, yeah. Where do I put Engvall?
On the 4th.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that is a bit of a tough one. But I want to put Clifford in the line. I want to put some meat in there. Oh, boy. That's
Well, you
an
can't do
interesting one.
Engvall, Spezza, Clifford.
Yeah, you could. Or Engvall, Spezza, Simmons. Engvall, Blackwell, Simmons, actually.
Oh, Blackwell,
more
too.
likely.
I wish he just set it up like an NHL 22 game. Set your lines and just have them play.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't he do that?
I greatly appreciate how differently the Lightning have played game to game while changing nothing about the actual composition
because they
of the
know.
roster.
So
they know these guys play well with these guys, and we just go out there and we do it.
One of the things that's also getting a lot of play here is the lack of ice time and the lack of rhythm to ice time for Austin Matthews. You said it, Jesse.
Fucking box!
Well, 8 minutes in penalties, or 8 minutes, 16 minutes in penalties, the Leafs.
More than that, a couple doubles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Then,
so 8 penalties total is what I'm going to say. We'll leave it at that. Austin Matthews is also not starting the games. And this was something they talked about in the intermission show last night, which you would have missed, Steve, because you're streaming.
Right.
But I think last night they started with the conf line, then went Tavares, then went Matthews. And they were showing clips about how the theory is that he looks a little uncomfortable because he's not playing as much as he's used to, which I can understand if that's the case. Kelly Rudy talked about how when he played with Gretzky in LA, Barry Melrose used to like to put out this guy. I'd never heard of the guy, the second line center Conacher, and then finally the team said,
Corey.
"Can you just start Gretzky?" And he did, and Gretzky took off. And like it's one of those, just start the game with your best center.
Not Corey Conacher. Sorry, you're talking about Gretzky.
Yeah, so
I'm talking about a guy who played like 6 years ago. Sorry.
no, we're talking about not former Lightning Corey Conacher.
My bad.
We're talking
I had the Lightning on my mind. I'm sorry.
So I think that's another one. I think if we're going to question anything, I understand when you're away, I understand starting with a defensive line because you maybe want to try to get Matthews away from the line matches that he's had. But at the end of the day, if he's your best player, he's your best fucking player. Play him.
Yeah, Cooper played home ice masterfully on that first shift. He's okay.
Led to a goal.
Yep, they're going to expect us to start our top line.
And we will.
I'm not, and I'm going to get him out.
Oh.
No.
Right, because they did that
you
switch.
keep thinking they did.
They didn't start their top line.
But that's how well they played it. Like a thief in the night. And they just left. And, like, they got a lucky bounce on the second goal. And then Morgan Riley lost a game of know where the puck is to Patrick Maroon. And that's 2 goals from the fourth line now. Like, it's not like Tampa's overpowering Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov.
Braden Point was basically a non-factor till last night.
Yeah, like, it's not like Tampa's superstars are caving the Leafs in.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a really, really poor game. And can I say the Willie food poisoning story, I don't buy.
Tell me.
The whole team looked so slow last night.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think there have been a lot of stomach bugs going around the GTA, and I kind of wonder.
You wonder if some of them are ill?
Because they looked terrible. Like that's the slowest they've looked since Game 5 against Montreal last year. Like just totally unprepared for the start of the game. 0 speed, 0 effort. That Nylander play going around where he gives up on the puck in the corner is
the one on the when it was a dump in, or it was going to be an icing.
I don't think it was going to be an icing. It was no, it was a 50-50 puck.
Right.
That he had a great shot at, and he bailed.
Yeah, because who was barreling down on him? I forget the whole.
Who cares?
I forget the details.
There's no excuse.
So but what did the Leafs do, honestly? Because the thing that's killed the Leafs is Tampa's forecheck. When they haven't played in the 2 games they've lost, the one thing that's so noticeable is how hard Tampa forechecks them.
Leafs have had an impossible time getting out of their own zone, or did last night.
Yeah.
Anyway,
with the Austin Matthews thing you brought up about that they talked about during intermission, I brought that up on Friday when we were talking about John Tavares, and I was like, he hasn't played enough time on 5-5. He couldn't have enough time to get things going. That was kind of my excuse for him, and then it was funny to see them do that during intermission for the excuse for Matthews for why he couldn't keep it going. But to me, that all boils down to is the amount of dumb penalties they're taking. Like if your stars can't get it going because you're always on the penalty kill, stop taking 8 penalties in one game. Why is Spezza out there taking bad penalties? Like everybody who can't be taking penalties is out there taking penalties on non-plays.
The Leafs depth is killing them.
It's killing.
That's a great point. It's killing them. And last night it provided Tampa with 2 goals. So
I also want to say that William Nylander got torched by the TNT broadcast or TBS. Did you guys see
scored
this?
2 goals. No, I didn't.
So
Scored 2 goals, but it was 5-0.
So Matthews headmanned a puck to him, and he's going right into the zone. And Eric Cernak is.
that was what we were just talking about.
You just okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at something
There's
else.
1,000.
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
the reason I wanted to bring the reason I got distracted. If I can tell you, I was going to save this till later in the show, but I want everybody to know I was distracted for good reason. Pierre McGuire has been fired by the Sens.
What?
That just happened this morning. I'm just letting you know that
Okay,
Pierre
well,
McGuire
sorry.
has
Holy shit.
That's why I got distracted. So
Yeah.
I figured we'll bring that up later. So that's why I missed that.
Because we didn't have the details on the Willie thing. We were just trying to do it from memory.
So it was Willie. So he's headman the puck for Matthews, and he loses the puck just as he hits the blue line. Now I could have given you the clip, but we can't run it on the show.
Yeah.
And
CJ.
I know it's fucking crazy. He's in the air.
Sorry, one more little break. I'm so sorry, but he recorded an addendum for the Barry Trotz stuff, like at the airport, and now they fired me. Oh, poor
Yeah.
CJ and Julian, man. Sorry.
So to start again, Matthews headmans the puck to Willie. Willie loses it at the Tampa blue line. Eric Cernak is bearing down on him, and Willie holds up, which sometimes he does because he believes he can probably steal the puck back rather than take the hit. But the TNT broadcast said they would have benched him for the rest of the game, and it doesn't.
I did hear
it
that
doesn't
this
look good.
Yeah, it was also Riley who passed on the.
Oh, it's Riley. I thought it was
Yeah,
Matthews.
that's-
Then.
that's-
I think he makes a miscalculation here. I don't think it's sloth. I think he's going, all right, how much time and space do I have here? And then the puck got away from him.
Sometimes-
So I don't know if it's necessarily laziness. I think he just fucked up the calculation.
And I'm not trying to blindly defend Nylander, but
No.
sometimes what he does is he'll, if he knows somebody's going to try to hit him, he pushes the puck out of the way of where he is and then switches directions very quickly. The person has to miss the check
Well, it
and miss
almost
the puck,
works.
and then he goes around.
It almost
That's,
works.
almost
that's
comes out of it
normally
with
what
the
he
puck.
does.
Yeah, he almost goes around the puck with no one on, or
And you've
sorry,
seen
goes
him-
around the net with no one on.
We've seen him do that a million times. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, I look at that and I'm like, of all the things to criticize, I don't think that's the thing. But
It's so the streams have given me so much more appreciation for how difficult it is to analyze things on the fly, because that's exactly the sort of thing. Like I obviously didn't see that replay last night, but
they didn't play it on Sportsnet.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have lost my mind and gone, Willie, what the like? You need more than this. And now I watch it and I'm like, it's not him giving up on a play.
It's a bungle
flop.
play.
It screams to me.
It's a mistake.
Yeah, but
It screams to me easy fodder for the fans to just yell at William Nylander.
yeah.
Like, I don't think this isn't a play that we should be microanalyzing, because he makes the smart decision there. Like, I don't know, 8 times out of 10. Occasionally it looks kind of like this and Chernak comes up with the puck, but like most of the time Willie's making the right play in the corner there.
I don't like the singling out of Willie, Tavares, Hall even, because the team was so bad.
Everybody was ass.
Everyone was ass. And I don't know, how do you get your team to just stop taking fucking penalties? Like,
Yeah.
it's Tampa. Tampa's doing an amazing job of drawing them.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Hagel's drawn like 5 penalties in this series.
Yeah, I was told not
Hagel's
to worry
been
about
awesome.
Brandon Hagel by Leaf fans before the series.
Oh,
When
man. Well, his numbers are poor. Like they were
Because he
heading
doesn't
into the
need to
series.
score in Tampa. He's got 3 goals in 15 games because he's not in Chicago.
No, they didn't get him for they didn't get him for the regular.
When
season.
Hagel was chirping at the end of the game, he had a smile on his face.
Why?
I loved that.
Why didn't Engvall go him? That made
You
no
wanted him to
sense.
fight there? I don't know.
100%.
I
A guy half your size challenges you to a fight in a game you're getting your ass kicked in. Take that.
He was Joker laughing in his face.
Yes. Take that. Oh my God, Pierre. Listen, if you grab him and ragdoll him, we all get to talk about you like you're this bastard villain. He dropped his gloves in your face. This is a guy that has been torching your team. You're getting killed by the amount of penalties you're taking, and no one's drawn more than him. He drops his gloves. He gives you an open invite, and you don't take it? Learn something about the friggin' playoffs. Are you serious?
Did the refs jump in too soon?
No!
And listen, if
You're a
Pierce is-
giraffe! Reach around them!
Because when they were holding each other, Hagel drops his gloves and he's like, "All right, let's go." And the refs get right in there.
Yeah, the other thing you can do.
You have a license to beat the brakes off of one of Tampa's most effective players, and you don't take it. That's
well, if you don't want to fight, the other thing you can do is just grab him and hold him, right?
Yeah.
no.
Maybe try to wrestle him.
No,
Wrestle.
get one. get one.
Well, but if
Listen,
that's not option, or if you're not comfortable or whatever, because listen, I don't think I've ever seen Pierre McGuire fight anyone.
he hasn't.
Well,
Have you
so-
seen Brandon Hagel fight anyone?
I
Stanley
don't
Cup
know.
playoffs. Get comfortable.
Jesus.
Are you serious? Do you want to win this or not?
I don't know.
No. Like, okay, we've talked a lot about like head injuries and stuff and fighting and its future in the game. Listen, if fighting was gone tomorrow, you would get far less protests from me than most people who rant about hockey for a living. But as long as it's here and the guy is the aggressor, drops his gloves in your face, and you're looking down at him like this, a solid 7 inches.
Stop banging the table.
RSVP that invite. Are you serious?
I'm going to glue your mic to the fucking table.
Yo, man,
Stop.
that guy with the subwoofers.
Subwoofer guy.
You're going to have to replace it at this
Use
point.
the gloves, Pierre. Use the glue that Pierre uses on his gloves.
Keep him on his
I'll
ass.
stick
I
this
don't
thing.
mind that he didn't fight.
It doesn't,
Like,
I don't
Like,
mind
if
it.
we're talking micro shit, that drove me nuts. You have an open invite. The guy's drawn 4 or 5 penalties. What's wrong with
So the other thing people are talking about today, Luke Fox actually had a fiery column at sportsnet.ca. If you're an angry Leaf fan, I highly suggest you check it out. But also, he did his hit with Sean McKenzie on Sportsnet, and I was watching this morning. I thought it was interesting. So when the Leafs decided to pull Jack Campbell, to me anyway, maybe I'm dumb, it made sense because you don't want your starting goalie injured in a game that you probably don't have a great shot in. And they didn't have a great shot in. So you have a chat and say, listen, Jack, nothing personal. We got to pull you up. Luke Fox on TV was like, I don't like that played out publicly. He's like, you have a chat with him in the dressing room. You don't talk to him on the ice. You just pull the goalie. You're the head coach. So I thought that was an interesting take because I'd never really thought of it that way. And I just kind of wanted to know what you guys thought because I didn't see it as a big deal and I still don't. But I thought it was an interesting, different point of view.
I think it was botched because the decision was made on the bench. And this is what I thought on the stream. The streams are so weird for me. I don't hear the feed at all. So, but
So a lot of time you're like, what happened? I can't see where,
Yeah, they made the decision on the bench. We're going to pull him, and we're going to do it after this penalty kill because we don't want to send Shelgren in to the middle of the penalty kill. And then what did the Leafs do? They took another fucking penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the Kasha double minor.
So then the pulling of the goalie got delayed until the end of the 5-on-3.
Right, but then I think there was like a TV timeout or something, and that's when it happened. So I think Keefe was stuck, between a rock and a hard place. Supposedly Marner broke the news to Campbell, and to that I must ask, why? Why? That's not your news to break. What are you doing?
Well, maybe he had to relay it through the
Maybe
it was loud in there.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
he's a captain.
He's got a letter. So I think that went the way it did because that was the circumstance.
There was also the quote from Keefe when he talked about the incident. David Alter had
Was it an incident?
And yeah, it was. I think it became a media storyline, but it wasn't really a storyline within the team. So this is what Keefe said post game. I'm just trying to get a sense of where he's at. This is why he talked to him on the ice. He's battling, and I know he's going to continue to battle. We need him to be good for the next game. So it's more so just a mindset and want to be sure that he wasn't feeling like he really wanted to finish the game and put in a good showing or anything like that. I just made it clear to him that it's obviously a long way to come back and we need him to be good for the next game. Ultimately, we made the decision. I made the decision a few minutes prior, and we had already had Shelgren ready to go coming out of the timeout, but wanted to talk with Jack first. That's what happened.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I thought it was a very clear thing amongst the coach and the player, and that Campbell's not going to feel any type of way about it.
Don't take again. This is a story born from what? They took too many friggin' penalties.
Yeah. The other thing I want to ask
The Leafs are I never would have thought the Leafs would be on the wrong end of this. Like,
I know. Somebody tweeted me the other day, like, this is what you asked for. And I'm like, I know. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying it's bad on the Leafs.
I'm not complaining.
My
complaints are
they're calling the game.
My complaints are to do with they're doing stupid shit.
And
not with officiating.
And look at what when people say weak call, I get it because based on past playoffs, it has been extremely weak play calling. But this is what they're calling this playoff.
Leafs
So
haven't really complained either.
I don't think they should.
No,
They're all
I don't
dumb.
think they should because they have been asking
They
for
are
this.
dumb fucking penalties too that they're playing. They're dumb. Now, last question on the Leafs, guys. Unless Jesse, you want to get into something.
I was going to say some of the stupid narrative has been people blaming Leafs fans for complaining all season about the officiating, and now it's coming back to you guys. You guys complained all season, and now you're actually getting calls. They're called against your team. So stupid people coming at Leafs fans.
People just
get out of here.
Some people's identity is they don't even like their own team. They just hate Leaf fans, and they all had the tissues out last night. And you know what? Fill your boots. Have some fun.
I'm fucking thrilled with the way the first 4 games have gone.
Yeah,
Thrilled. But let me just ask you one last question,
careful
guys.
before you get hairy palms.
John Tavares. 6 games now without a goal in the playoffs. Now, he played half a game against Montreal, so that's not exactly fair.
Yeah.
But people are like, well, Matthews hasn't scored since when did he score?
Game 1 where he had 2.
Yeah, and then what? Marner's got 6 points in 4 games, so
Yes.
he's producing.
Marner's played the majority of the series because of all the penalty
I know.
time.
Nylander's been good. I thought anyway. I think he was a little off in game 1, but he still scored. Now you're
He's
not
been
crazy
all
about it.
right.
Okay, so Tavares though.
Tavares made a really nice play on the Willie goal. That's a little stop up and finding him.
Berkshire
5-2.
Berkshire asked the question yesterday, and I
5-2.
thought it's worth asking here. Would the Leafs have been better off not signing Tavares a few summers ago, keeping Kadri, and this is Andrew's words. He said that John Tavares has got mostly empty calorie offense.
I don't have the strength.
No, not now.
Not now.
Like,
Not now. That's a summer discussion, and I've been such a good boy.
Okay, so then
I've been
are you
such a
worried?
good boy.
So in the context then of this series, fair enough. Let's keep it scoped to here.
Mm-hmm.
Are you worried about John Tavares in this series?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have the speed for the series at all. It's a problem. It's a big, big problem. And if there was a lineup adjustment to be made, like here's the problem.
You try him on the wing?
I would. I absolutely would.
Don't tweak. You're saying don't tweak,
what,
Jesse.
why? How many
He's not
times
playing well.
How many times this season has John Tavares played on the wing?
None.
Let's try it out in the playoffs. Game number 5, baby.
He's played.
Let's go.
I think he's played on the wing internationally because you play with multiple centers. I would try. Well, and here's the thing. It'd be nice if they had tried this in the regular season. Game 5 against the Lightning at home is not exactly when I would try tinkering with this sort of thing. But I think you could reunite the Tavares, Kerfoot, Willie line. Have Kerfoot in the middle.
I wondered about that too. But can Kerfoot win faceoffs like Tavares does? Or do you just
Fuck
have him
it.
switch?
Have Tavares. Yeah, literally have Tavares win the faceoff and then switch.
You can do that.
Do it.
Interesting.
Not time, not
Not
place.
time? Okay. That's fair.
It's too late now.
I just
It's
want to know,
way too late.
I just want to know if we're worried about I just want to know if we're worried about this, and it seems like we are a little bit.
I want to see a breakthrough performance in game.
We need to notice John Tavares more on the ice. That's the thing. He's been disappearing a lot. We don't see him. I bring up the Willie play because that was a nice play.
Sure.
I want to see more of that. But
Because he had time and space.
like you said, it was also 5-2 in the game.
It was 5-2 and it was 4-on-4.
Oh, was it? I don't even
Yeah.
remember that.
It was 4-on-4 for the 4th time
yeah.
in the game.
There's space there if it was 4-on-4. Yeah.
There was space. He needs to do a better job finding time and space because Tampa has given him none.
Okay, so it's time for You Can Bet That. Now, as always, by the way, there's some good news coming, I believe, in this segment. But as always, we ask you, 19 plus, please play responsibly. Tactics and tips and tricks on how to do that in the description, either on this video or on the audio side of it. It's all there for you, wherever you get your podcasts. Let's get into it. Dave Bastel, listen, we've just talked about how there are things that were wrong with the Leafs game, but we shouldn't be freaking out. And you're saying you agree the Leafs are still favored to win this series?
Yes, you know what? Still favorites to win game 5, favorites to win the series. And I'll add on 2 more points too. The top 2 series indicators, the clinchers, are Leafs right now to win the series 4-3. That's the betting favorite. Leafs to win 4-2 is number 2. So there's only 4 options left, and the Leafs hold the top 2 spots. I'm just saying there is some hope here.
Interesting. That is extremely interesting.
Now, if you take the 7-game bet, which Drake did, it's a pretty good bet.
Did he actually?
Drake, before the series even started, said Leafs and Tampa are going to 7 games, and he put 400,000 Bitcoin on it. And if it does pay out, if it pays out, it's 1.2 million. Yeah.
Wowzers.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, me too.
Me too, dude. Yeah,
Me too, man.
For sure. But he did just sign a $400 million extension with Universal Music, so he's okay on the money thing, right?
So he's
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
I bet like $5, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
so
I'm in your camp. I'm in your
Yeah.
camp.
so David, one of the other things too is the over under here. Under 6.5 has the better odds, which is
Yes.
I found
What?
really interesting considering how this series has gone.
You know what? Yeah, right now the Leafs and Lightning are 3-1 to the over. So what we're looking at here too, guys, and it almost seems to be a little bit of a trend in the NHL. There's more over games than under games. Right now, 6 of the 8 series have registered on the over as a whole. The only series, though, that have been a perfect over, and maybe that's something to do with goal total, because the goal total for the Rangers and Penguins has been about 6. They're a perfect 3-0 to the over right now. So that's a little bit of a surprise to me. And we are starting to hear some inklings of games coming up this week. If they continue to trend, that we may see totals of 7, which is unheard of in the NHL playoffs. Usually, guys, we're sitting at 5.5s normally, but this is far from normal this year.
Except for Calgary, Dallas.
Yeah.
And you
Over
guys,
under 1.5.
at Sports Interaction, you guys have like alternate over-unders that you can take
Yes.
all the time. So like
Yep.
yesterday, Tampa Leafs, I took, you guys had an alt of like 7.5 really early, and I took that at like 2.20, and they hit that clean. You know, so those
Yeah.
alt lines are really cool because you get better or worse odds if you want to be careful or
And-
Bet against the
yeah,
Leafs.
no, I just the goal total.
No, the goal total. Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Making
against
sure,
it,
though.
though.
I'm making sure. I'm making
You know the rule.
making sure.
He knows the rules, Dave. No betting against the Leafs. Hey, listen, thanks so much for joining us as always. And we'll be back on Friday. Now, here's what I'm hoping for. Here's what I'm hoping for.
Leafs win?
When Dave's back, I'm hoping he's telling us, well, I hope you didn't take the 7 games because the Leafs are already through.
Hey.
Right? Right? Because that could be possible.
I think this
He doesn't care. He's just thinking about Barry Trotz joining the Jets.
Barry Trotz to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All
I know
right.
that it's probably what you guys are talking about next. So I'll let you guys go.
It
Talk to
actually
you soon.
is on our lineup right there. Dave Bassel, follow him at Dave Bassel or at SIA Sports on Twitter. Dave, thanks so much as always.
Thanks, guys. Really fun.
Do you know the 5 steps to being a man?
Be
A clean man, that is.
Adam Wilde.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
That's not step 1.
Well, listen, I might use these 5 steps, but you want to lather on the new ultra premium Manscaped body wash with aloe vera and sea salt. Then you want to apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, which Steve uses and smells great. And I only use your head as an example because I walked by you once and you smelled great. Number 3, hop out of the shower, protect yourself with Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant.
Also use that.
Step 4, if you have tattoos or you like me and you have dry skin, use the hydrating body moisturizer spray that's infused with the power of red algae from the Pacific Ocean. And number 5, apply the Manscaped lip balm that has a matte finish so your lips can look good but not shiny. You want to be plump, but maybe not shimmer.
Plump.
All I'm saying is you should go to manscaped.com and use that promo code. What is it?
Dangle?
Dangle. That's right. 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Dangle. Manscaped.com. I know,
Are
right?
you unsure of the promo code?
It's a bit.
Oh, yeah, sure.
20% off and free shipping. Promo code Dangle at manscaped.com. It is time to get clean. Our next partner, pretty cool product, Athletic Greens. You've heard us talk about it before. We're talking about better gut health, more energy, stronger immune system, really easy, natural way to get the vitamins that you need. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, especially as you, Jesse doesn't know what this is like, but as you get older, as you get into your mid-30s, you start to think about your health.
I'm like
Start
3 years younger.
You start looking down the hallway at the colonoscopy that's waiting for you at 40 years old, and you go, how do I help that? Athletic Greens is how you help that, okay? So, it's lifestyle-friendly, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free. Contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, and no artificial anything. And it tastes good.
Colonoscopy.
Well, it's important. You got to think about that. Now, right now, it's time to reclaim your health all over your body.
We should do a live colonoscopy on the show.
We shouldn't. No, radio people have done that for generations, and they need to
What?
stop. Yes.
Oh my god.
They need to stop. Tay, make it easy. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year
I was
supply
joking.
of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/SDP. Again, athleticgreens.com/SDP to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate nutritional insurance. So Barry Trotz was fired today.
Not on my bingo card.
I thought he did a good job. I was reading a friend of the show, Andy Graziano's tweets, and it seems like, first off, Islanders fans are pissed, which you rarely see Islanders fans mad at the Islanders, but here we are.
Yeah.
So as a coach, Barry Trotz's record was 152, 102, 34, 587.
Wow.
And then in the playoffs, he was positive, 28 wins, 21 losses, 571. He's the highest points percentage of any Islanders coach ever.
Wow.
And given how the Islanders had to start this year, which is mostly on the road, and the fact that they refused to go out and really sign any goal scoring, I mean, listen, we thought that they were a better team than they were in the second half of the season. They showed they were a better team, but it was already too far gone at that point. It makes me wonder and makes me think that there had to be some major change of or difference of opinion between Lou Lamoriello and Barry Trotz to the point where they could not go forward with the direction of the team.
Well, I can't help but notice, and I don't know anything like inside track, but I can't help but notice this is now the second consecutive firing. Second consecutive time Barry Trotz has left a team as their head coach under bizarre circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Like this sort of thing makes me look at Barry Trotz's departure from Washington. Literally the summer after
and they made
weeks after winning the Stanley Cup.
They made the decision before that season started. That was his last year, though,
because of money, supposedly.
Yeah.
But Ted Leonsis isn't going to pay for a Stanley Cup winning head coach, the first head coach to ever bring a cup to Washington? I don't know if I totally buy that. Like, I'm sure it's a factor. I don't know if I buy that. That's very strange. There's very strange circumstances. And now we have literally the winningest regular season head coach in Islanders history. Brought them within a hair of the Stanley Cup the past 2 years. Unfortunate circumstances. They're very obviously going to have a bounce back season next year. What's going on? Why would he do that?
So Andy Graziano, again, he's a columnist at WFAN 660, said, only thing I was privy to over the course of this trying season was some headbutts between Trotz and Barzal. But I thought that was just frustration over the season and where it was going. Impossible to know how much of a factor that played in today's news. I doubt very highly that a Lou Lamoriello run team would worry about one player, no matter how good they are.
The only thing, I look at the Islanders and I look at their future, and I don't know how great of a fit Trotz is anymore, because he's a metapod coach, just defense. A lot of the guys they've drafted and a lot of guys they've hitched their wagon to are kind of offensive players, offensively gifted. Barzal, Beauvillier, Dobson, that back end. I mean, you don't need a brilliant defensive coach to succeed with that back end in Long Island.
But 2 years ago, you did.
Yeah.
I mean, what the Islanders did, let's not forget what the Islanders did the first year Barry Trotz was in town, the first year Lou Lamoriello was in town, when everybody thought, this team sucks, and this guy, Robin Lehner, who's not worked out anywhere, is going to be their goallie. And he's like a Masterton winner and a Vezina nominee, and
Greiss was a god.
Sorokin is a god. There's obviously the right goaltending coach, but Barry Trotz shocked the hell out of the world when that Islanders run that we were just on
they should have
started.
finished last. They should have finished
that
last.
Team was not supposed to be good.
Dude.
And so I Islanders fans right now, I'm following along. They are flabbergasted. They're like, wow, it was so nice to see a winning team for once.
Well, and they were the ones when they initially lost Tavares. They were the ones this team's going to be shit.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
There was something in the New York Post that I read today that I thought was really interesting because this isn't out of it's not strange to have this happen from a Lou Lamoriello team.
No, it's not.
So Ethan Sears wrote this in the New York Post. He said, it's far from the first time he's made a surprise decision to move on from a head coach. This is Lou. In 2000, when he served as general manager for the Devils, Lamoriello fired Robbie Forek with 8 games.
Ftorek. Yeah, I remember Robbie.
Fired Robbie Ftorek with 8 games left in the season. Hired Larry Robinson, who went on to win the Stanley Cup with the franchise. 7 years later, Lamoriello fired Claude Julien with 3 games left in the season, and the Devils holding the best record in the East. Yeah. This is a thing, a pattern that Lou Lamoriello does, and he loves to fire his head coach. And I kind of trust that if he thinks the Islanders need a new voice in the room and that Barry Trotz isn't the right voice to lead this team, I kind of trust that he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, it could be a mutual thing as well, because Trotz is going to go to the Jets.
Yeah, well, that's so a lot of Red Wings fans today are like, the eyes are playing. Because Blashill will not be back.
They don't have Blashill.
Yeah.
And I think that was long overdue. I think Jeff Blashill hung on to that gig because it's like, well, do we need to hire a new coach right now for this terrible team?
Supposedly he's like a popular, well-liked guy. It's just his record sucks.
What's the quote from Glengarry Glenn Ross? Nice guy, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Go play with your kids.
Go.
So
second prize set of steak knives.
No, I think
third prize is you're fired.
I know that Lou Lamoriello does this, and I know sometimes it has worked, but Robbie Ftork's firing was like 2001.
2000, yeah.
That's a long fucking time ago, guys. Mm-hmm. That's 22 years ago.
And then the Claude Julien one, the 7 years later.
Yeah, but
that's 15 years ago.
Yeah, and then
Lou
now
Lamoriello's old though, so that was recently for him.
Yeah, that's true. In the lifespan of... I don't know.
I don't think his mentality has changed in the later 20 years of his life.
I remember. I remember like
Lou Lamoriello, progressive.
Yeah, I just wonder about that and think like the only issue really with the Islanders this year is they couldn't play at home, and then when they could play at home, they couldn't score. Well, they didn't do anything to address the goal scoring issue, which we knew was an issue last year. So who's that on? And let me make clear too, because Lou Lamoriello, in the press conference today, was asked, why did you, and a lot of Islanders fans are getting on him for this. Mm-hmm. Why did you fire Barry Trotz? Why was this decision made? And Lou Lamoriello said, I'd rather not get into the details. And everybody's like, oh,
did he hold a press conference?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Because he fired his head coach.
Yeah, but he didn't. What's the point if you're not going to say anything?
Well, people call him Mr. Accountable, and they're saying, so you're not accountable for your actions then, but everybody else has to be. That's interesting.
That's so ridiculous. So the goal scoring issue, I wonder if Lou Lamoriello thinks the issue just solved itself. This team is, we can, no disrespect to Barry Trotz, I think we can be fairly confident they will improve offensively next season.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. The issue is, will
it be at the sacrifice of
Stephen Wino, Lou Lamoriello's quotes. I'm going to read them for you. It would be a tremendous understatement to say this was an easy decision, or this was not an easy decision. Unfortunately, it is my role to make the best decisions for the organization. This group needs a new voice. So maybe that Barzal thing isn't so far off. Lamoriello said he and ownership only knew about the decision before he told Trotz this morning, and he did not consult with players. I'd rather not get into any of the reasons because that's my job upon the... I'd rather not get into any of the reasons because that's my job. I've experience with these types of decisions because I think there's a misquote in here. And then when asked why he thought Islanders players needed a new voice, those are not questions that I will answer as far as what I thought. It's obvious that I thought quite a bit about making this type of decision. Did I consult with anyone on this decision? The answer is no. Did I speak to the players on this decision? No. I would never even consider thinking anything like that.
Good.
So Lou made this, told ownership this morning, told Barry this morning, and the players are finding out on Twitter.
Good.
That's how Lou operates, right?
That dude is more on brand than Coca-Cola.
I know.
No, Lou should have all autonomy if you're going to give him the power. If you're going to give him the keys, give him the keys.
You imagine?
Good.
Yeah. Well,
what is he? 79?
76.
7. Yeah. Matt, what do you think about this? I can't. I can't.
I know. Lou's going to make decisions. And I trust that if he thinks they need a new voice and that this will improve them offensively, that he's not wrong.
Yeah.
And by default, they will be better because they won't spend a whole half season on the road. And they're going to have a whole new energy to their team. They're going to have a new head coach and they'll improve.
Young guys will get a little bit better. They are still too old in parts.
It's an easy W for Lou because they're by default getting better. He doesn't have to pay Barry Trotz because Barry Trotz is going to command a big payday. And he can go to Winnipeg and lose with Scheifele.
What?
So do you?
I gotta say, if I'm in the division of the team that he goes to, I'm very upset about this.
Well,
I'm
and you
upset about this news.
look at what he's got, right? He's got Nedeljkovic potentially as his goalie in Detroit, who could use a rebound season, but we know he's got the talent.
Yeah.
Does well in tight defensive systems, as we saw with Carolina and Rod Brindamore. You got the former Vezina winner, Connor Hellebuck, who is still among the league's best. That's awfully attractive to a defensive-minded coach.
Lou, with that core in Winnipeg, the defense core.
You mean Barry?
Barry. Yeah.
What did I say?
You said Lou.
Oh, my bad. Like, I'm just imagining a Brendan Dillon on a Barry Trotz team, and I just don't want to be the player on the other end of that.
Right.
It's going to be so
No, they could
unpleasant.
be a very good team with Trotz.
And what about
some new voices?
What about Vancouver?
Boudreaux's going to come back. That's
maybe
a lot of posturing.
Maybe they just say to him, you know what? I know that's in your contract, but we don't want you. We Barry Trotz is now available.
That is not a fit.
No?
No.
Because they want to be offensive and fast skating, right?
I think so.
I just thought I'd throw them out there.
No, I like it. You got to go through the list. That's not a fit to me.
How do you get Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler to play defense?
You trade them.
Did you see?
I mean, Winnipeg's the perfect team for a guy like Barry Trotz because they are going to be, if those guys get traded, there's going to be limited talent on the roster.
Is he from? I think he's a Manitoba guy too.
Yeah, he's from Winnipeg. Did you see the report from Scheifele that he said he didn't request a trade?
No.
I think it was in the one of the intermission panels.
I didn't request a trade shirt is
they followed up with him about his postseason interviews with the coaches and management, and he said he did not request a trade.
hard.
So there you go. Scheifele's sticking around apparently.
Heart into a bottle, throw it into the ocean, open it on the other side, sniff it. No.
They're going to be.
I don't believe it.
I'm very curious about why there's a difference between requesting a trade and saying I don't want to be here. Right? It's like the difference between no, we're not trying to trade PK Subban, but we are taking calls on him. Call me.
Let's.
I'm not cheating on my wife. I'm just responding to direct messages from multiple different people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just
totally normal. That comparison.
sexually
Exact same thing
We were
here.
thinking
No, great.
Come on,
Great comparison.
But you guys know what I'm talking about. Don't give me the Scheif was he was already out the door on that press conference.
Here's what's going to happen. He's going to be the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets. He's going to be announced as the head coach of the Winnipeg Jets while I'm there.
In Winnipeg? When are you going to Winnipeg?
A couple weeks.
Why?
He's got a wedding.
Oh, you got a
He's
wedding.
brought this up like 100 times.
Yeah.
Steve's big event of the year.
I haven't been on a flight
Yeah, I know.
for a very long time.
You've
so I'm
told
excited.
us 8 times.
You know what? Eat shit. There, Mexico or wherever you went. You went to Mexico?
No, I was in Vegas for like a week.
You know
That's
Steve,
cool, too.
Here's where
Weekend.
Steve
You
goes on
didn't
holiday.
Tell me about that.
Here's
yeah,
where Steve
I
goes
did. I did 2 podcasts from Vegas.
Steve goes on holiday in Winnipeg and follows it up with a nice cold trip to Scotland in the middle of summer.
No, we're not doing that. They're coming here.
Are they? Oh, great.
Your in-laws?
No,
Yeah.
I know. I was laughing at you because I know you don't like the beach. And so it's sort of like, it's like, what else can you do? Well, we're going to go see the biggest nickel in Ontario in Sudbury or something
No,
like that.
I like the beach as long as it's freezing cold and facing the North Sea.
There you go.
I have dipped my toes in the North Sea.
I like a good woolly sweater in my
Man.
summer trip.
You know what that wasn't? Warm.
Did you put your foot in?
Oh, yeah.
The North Sea? All right. Well,
And
there you go.
I wrote "Go Leafs" into the sand.
I know you did. I'm not surprised by. Pierre McGuire has been fired by the Sens. 10 months.
I
That's
mean,
so funny.
dude, we all thought he was a Eugene guy, and
Yeah.
I mean,
I bet-
it took
Can I ask a serious
one
question?
season.
My first question in reading that was who fired him?
I was just about to ask that.
Who's-
What happened to my voice?
Who? And I told you guys this the week that Eugene died, and I know everybody was like, "Well, you shouldn't talk about that." Who's in charge of the Sens right now?
That's kind of a valid question.
Who runs the Sens? I know his daughters were out and that sort of thing. Is it the family? Is it in a trust? How does that work?
What wouldn't the decision come from Pierre Dorian?
Anthony
No, Pierre-
LeBlanc.
They were equals.
Yeah, but what's his?
He's president of the Senators.
Dorian.
Oh, well,
McGuire was
it
not.
would've come from him then.
McGuire was a senior advisor to Melnick. We speculated at the time that if Dorian was fired by the end of the year, it would be McGuire that'd be taking over, right? And I don't think Dorian had the ability to fire McGuire. I just don't think that's the org chart. So who is it
He's
again?
Still on the site?
So
Look at
the president is Anthony LeBlanc, and then we got I don't know who would be on top of him. I don't know if there's anybody else, but it would have been Anthony then.
I'm sorry about that sniff into my allergies.
It
okay,
probably
Steve,
I would assume Pierre Dorian would have that power as well. Because Pierre would report to Dorian as the VP of player development. That was Pierre McGuire's job.
Yep.
So Pierre Dorian, I guess, maybe as a manager has the power to fire him, if like in consultation with Anthony DeBlanc. I don't know.
Who is going to have the Hartford style breakdown?
What do you mean?
Who is, well, I'm referencing the famous article written about Pierre McGuire's coaching tenure with the Hartford Whalers, where he was
which he
skewered
can't
and
remember.
Barbecued. I forgot about that. Skewered and barbecued to a char. I would love to hear about the 10 months that Pierre McGuire was in Ottawa. I'm fascinated by that. Fascinated.
I am too. I want to know, because somebody's going to have the inside story. Like Ian Mendez is on this right now, and it's that
Ian,
drop it, Ian.
give the people what they want. Drop that mixtape.
100%. It's going to happen.
Drop it.
Um,
I'm anticipating this more than Kendrick's album. Like I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's hilarious, by the way. If you look at the West, Edmonton series just like Toronto. Edmonton's just pulling the Leafs.
There was a clip going around where I was like, there's no chance Edmonton scores 6 in LA. And I was right. They scored 8.
Is that what you said?
And
Yeah.
I said there's no chance they score 6 and
I
scored
said,
gosh.
don't underestimate Deneau, who had a terrible game on Friday.
And then they got shut out.
Yeah. Last night, that was LA's game last night.
That's what I expect. Well, more along the lines of what I expected. I didn't expect the Oilers to get shut out. You know what I didn't realize as a storyline for that series is Todd McClellan's the coach for the Kings.
Oh, wow.
He's taking on his former team. I was just sort of like going through and watching post-game pressers, and I'm like, oh, shit. It's
Todd McClellan,
totally forgot.
who we have not talked about since he was the coach in Edmonton.
No.
On the second pairing there, I was just looking up. They put in Troy Stetcher and they took out Jordan Spence, their rookie. And I was like, who'd have thought that Troy Stetcher would be the man to stabilize the defense in a game 4?
Stetcher, wasn't it Stetcher Edler?
Yeah, and yes, Edler might have been on the 4th line. I had the lineups there. Yeah, it was Edler, Stetcher, and then Mata Dursey on the third pairing. Like,
And I like Jersey, but Mata can be tough.
It's incredible to see what the Kings get out of their players. And the storyline, the narrative for that game was the Dustin Brown love fest, because that could have been his last game ever in LA. If they lose that game and then you lose the next one in Edmonton, his career's done, because he's going to retire at the end of the season, and that's his last ever game in LA. And he showed up, like he knew the crowd was going to be there for him, because it could be his last game. And it's great to see the Kings when they're all out there zipping and they're playing this incredible defense, and then Jonathan Quick is behind them playing like 2012 Jonathan Quick.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
What the fuck was that? Like, wait, first off, that non-glove save where he has no glove on, and then you saw that blocker save. Did you see that in slow mo? He caught 1/4 of 1 inch of that puck and just got it out of there.
Some people are hot on Jonathan Quick or cold. I think he's probably the most athletic goalie of his generation.
Because he plays a style where he has to be athletic.
He routinely turns himself into a capital H that has fallen over. And I don't know how he does it. I don't know.
And he is an older man now. He's not a young man.
How don't you hear a snap in his groin that echoes off the roof of the building every time that guy takes the ice?
Yeah.
He is truly Gumby.
He's 3 years younger than Mike Smith.
Explain. Someone explain.
I know.
Make it make sense.
Him and Mike Smith are crazy. It's the oldest. Their combined ages in this series are 76.
What? Oh, God. It's beautiful, chaotic energy that they're playing against each other. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Still doing it. Now, let's get into, I mean, first off, actually, before we get out of Edmonton, I do want to ask you this. Did you guys see the Grundstrom goal that was double reviewed?
I did.
Where he's sort of a torpedo. And
I didn't understand the double review.
Okay, so you didn't understand. What didn't you understand about it?
How you're able to do that.
I wasn't going to ask that about the rules. I figured, sometimes I'd watch the NHL. I'm like, I didn't know that was a rule. That's not really a surprise. There's a million rules. But Grundstrom, did you think that was a goal?
Oh boy.
Here, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up.
I'll throw on my glasses.
And I got it.
You got it there, Jess?
Yeah. So, for anybody listening, Carl Grumstrom basically throws his body into Mike Smith.
He's a torpedo. He's a human
So
torpedo.
this angle, Jesse, the overhead is useless to me because I need to see if he's responsible for torpedoing himself into the net, it's no goal. If he's pushed, it's a goal.
All right, here's the other angle. That's the fun angle. But
The argument wasn't it the argument that he punched it in?
yeah, here we go. So what do you?
So that's Nurse.
Yeah.
Also, Nurse
Essentially takes him down. He falls into the net.
accidentally.
Yeah. The puck goes in all at once.
He takes him out with his feet. Nurse goes
Yeah, and then
right
there's-
after him. I love it.
There's a whole bunch of scuffling.
I'm surprised. I love that Mike Smith is arguing the goal while like the ref doesn't have time to hear that shit. There's a line brawl going on, man.
So I think it's clearly a goal because he's taken down. Like that would have been a tripping penalty on Nurse. He takes him down with his skates, with his legs, and then he goes flying into the goal, and the puck goes in.
What do you say about the argument that it's a penalty, not a goal? Because I did see some of that.
Because I don't think Edmonton makes contact with the puck before it goes in the net. Like I don't think Mike Smith touches it to where it's possession, stop play, penalty. You know.
Now we gotta
get
take
that.
context and history into account here. Because if I'm an Oilers fan this morning, I'm wondering what on earth the other team needs to do to get called for goalie interference against the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs.
No, I know, right? That's what I thought.
Dude, what do they got to do? This isn't quite as bad as Kessler. I still
you know
can't
what
believe
also
that
was
a goal.
bad was, did you see the Boston goal last night with DeBrusk?
No.
Where literally the puck is underneath Antti Ranta's pad, but he can't see it, and the ref doesn't call it. It's underneath his pad
In Boston?
and
That's so strange.
And they are chopping at his pad, and literally they just push the pads out from under him, and the puck goes in.
And that was fine.
Well, do you want to see it?
I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll show you. I
love this.
It's pretty wild.
Jesse's got it up. I mean, how is that loose? I need to see. Where is it?
Yeah,
It's underneath the goalie.
Oh, is that it right there?
I don't even. So then he hits it. DeBrusk hits it here, and then it shoots up into the net. He gets solid contact on the puck. That's my only thing.
Yeah,
You know?
it must be loose because if
He
it
goes
was truly
top
under
G.
Okay,
Rance's pad,
now,
it couldn't
do you
have
know
done
where the
that.
ref is at this point?
No.
Behind the net. He can't see the puck.
He should be behind
The ref should. No, I know,
That's
but
his position.
but what I'm saying is that there's no way the ref would have known that was loose.
little-
Therefore, it should have been blown down.
Nah, he
little bit of guesswork.
He goes top shelf.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's loose.
Before that,
puck's
it was
loose-
underneath Antti Ranta, and the ref did not see it. He knew it was under Ranta.
If a puck's loose, you can't go. If a puck's not loose, you can't go top shelf. I'm with the Bruins here.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
Man,
wow,
a lot of people,
couple of Judases here.
a lot of people were with the Bruins yesterday, which is not an angle I expected from this series. But Brad Marchand and Tony Deangelo had a little love fest.
And who do you think won that one?
Bradley. Bradley, that's "you're a racist" is not a common chirp in the National Hockey League.
Is that what he said?
Oh yeah.
I missed that.
Oh, you didn't see that?
He literally said to him, "You're a racist."
I don't think it was ever confirmed, but yeah, Jesse's got the video up right now. I think Deangelo said something about his nose, and Marchand, you're racist. You're fucking racist. That's what he said right there. Clear as day.
Jesus, I don't know if it's clear as day, but
Oh, Jesse, stop.
all right, here we go.
Watch.
Everybody's watching. Brad
Watch,
Marchand
watch.
chirping at Tony Deangelo. Adam's seen this for the first time.
You're racist.
right there.
You're fucking racist.
It's a you're a fucking racist. It looks like. Hold on.
And then at the
you
end
know
of
what?
the game, Deangelo throws his stick at him.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Oh boy,
That's a crazy chirp. Wow. Holy cow.
That. Wow.
It's quite surreal. There's also not much of a retort.
If you're a Flames fan, are you concerned that your 40-40-40-35 goal guys have a combined 2 goals through the first 3 games of this series?
Okay, Dallas, don't take this the wrong way. For the sake of the health of hockey, we need you to lose.
Why do you need that?
Please don't make me watch this again. I don't want to. I don't want to. And it's nothing against you. I have defended your jerseys at every turn.
No, you haven't. They're garbage. They look like shit.
I have defended them. You say they're garbage. I have defended them. You have young, exciting players. You have one of the most underrated players in the league in Rupe Hintz. I mean, Jason Robertson, too. You know, there's a lot to like about Dallas, except for how they play. Now, they are winning. I could see how you would like it, but as a neutral observer, boo hiss. Boo hiss, trash. Also, you'll ruin my bracket. Please stop.
I'm going to be honest. I've turned off 2 of these games.
Dude, they're so
they
bad.
suck.
They
so
suck. Like the 1-0 game was brutal to watch.
And it's effective.
Oh,
no
yeah.
one's saying they're bad.
Oh, yeah.
No one's saying it's not effective.
Oh, yeah.
But you are outboring Daryl Sutter. Mamma mia. That's too much for me, and I'm out. I tap out.
The most interesting thing about
Thank
this
God
series
they're in the West.
is the John Klingberg storyline. That is actually a storyline, which is
How is that a thing?
Which is he's mad at Anderson, and now 2 games in a row, he and Kachuk have gone toe to toe, and Kachuk's won both. But at least he's trying.
Has he?
So I mean, it's a wrestling match, really.
You gotta be out of the box, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta be out of the box. It's obviously not working having Klingberg in. Yeah, that's a bracket ruiner. And speaking of bracket ruiner, how about them Caps?
Well,
you can't just move on to another series. How
No?
dare you?
what do you want to say?
The exciting thing for the series for me, I was trying to bring this up real quick, is Mr. Jake Ottinger.
Oh, buddy.
I wanted to bring up
Does
his...
Billy Uso know you're cheating on him?
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Because fucking Bennington. But Billy Uso, I don't have his stats over the last couple of games.
Ottinger?
NHL playoffs, Jake Ottinger, NHL playoffs 22-23. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. 963. How many? Where's the saves now? I don't have the total amount of saves. Do you have it?
I thought it was
That,
right there.
anyway.
There it is. He stopped
Oh,
93 of 96.
3 games this playoffs. 93 saves out of 96 shots.
Goals against average of 101.
The man is unbelievable. And you throw in the one shutout in there. And he's really holding this team together.
He's out-dueling Markstrom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Because
crazy.
all Dallas is doing is finding a way to get a couple goals here. And that's all they need to win the game. It's proven that, okay, if we can just get 2 or 3 past Markstrom, we're going to win the game. And they've done that twice now. And the other one, they barely lost. And I'm worried about Calgary if their offense doesn't turn on because Dallas has found a way to just stifle them. So we'll see how the next 3 games go. But Dallas it might be a situation where we look back on the series and we're like, Jake Ottinger just stole a playoff series for the Dallas Stars. And the team that we thought was going to challenge Colorado for the Western Conference Championship is now out in the first round.
A lot of people have him going to the final. A lot of people have him winning it. This is a big one.
Yeah.
Very big one.
What about the Panthers, guys? Same position.
There's also a storyline for Calgary where we look back and we say teams need to go through this to get there. The Tampa did it, Colorado did it, and this was the first year. I mentioned this coming in where they haven't done it before. This core hasn't been there, and this is their first year that they're doing it. And if they lose here, it just might be, hey, this is your growing pains. You come back next year and you're better.
Right. This is more surprising to me than the Panthers being down 2-1 to the Caps.
Okay, why?
Because I don't think, because of how mediocre they were in general over the course of the season, people weren't paying enough attention to how good the Caps were down the stretch. They were really good down the stretch. In the Panthers, I'm sorry, it's worth noting they got 26 points in the standings from overtime wins. Overtime wins.
Coin
or
flip
13.
games. Coin flips.
Coin flips. Coin flips that are not available to you in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're just not. I don't know.
Playoff Bobrovsky.
Playoff Bobrovsky. Now, a 2-1 lead is not it's not a death sentence. I was texting Ian Olin from Russian Machine Never Breaks. This reminds me a little bit of Leafs Caps from 2017, except the roles are reversed. So the Caps are now the underdog up 2-1 after 3. but they would be wise to remember that the Caps went on to win 3 straight and the Leafs were eliminated.
Yeah, they're also doing it without Tom Wilson, which is huge.
Yeah.
They're able to
Would have never guessed.
undermanned. They're able to get things done.
Would have never
And
guessed that in a million years.
Florida, like, I don't want to rule it out to, it's playoff hockey and that stuff, but Florida built their team around scoring and offense, and in the playoffs, that thing disappears.
But no, it hasn't this year. It's playoff scoring is higher than it's been in like a generation.
But for the Panthers in particular, they can't get it
They're
done.
floundering. Yeah, but are the Caps not built around goal scoring? They're built around the greatest goal scorer of his generation.
That's true.
Possibly of all time.
And shaky goaltending from them, because they got 2 guys they can go with at any point, but they've been getting solid goaltending. You know?
None of it makes sense.
It's a
a lot of
fascinating
fun.
series.
Jordan Binnington has a great game. Jordan Kyrou and David Perron both scored 2 more goals each. Both are having insane preseason or postseason, excuse me. And the Wild and the Blues are tied up.
Deuces.
Jesse's upset because Benner's in.
There are some things I was looking at in terms of Jordan Binnington. First of all, it's his first win since they won the Stanley Cup.
In the playoffs.
Holy!
The first win in the playoffs since they won the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
Game 7
Okay.
of the Cup
All
final.
right.
His record since they went to the Stanley Cup final in the playoffs prior to this game was 0-9 with an .875. He went 9 straight games losing. .875
Are you
save
serious?
percentage.
Ooh.
Yes,
Oh my
that's
God.
Binnington. That's his record.
Okay.
Jesse's so shook.
Ville Husso.
I could hear the anger.
Ville Husso in his first game. Great game. .919 save percentage.
Of course it was. Has he ever had a bad one?
Games 2 and 3 struggled, obviously. That's the reason they went with the other guy. But goalies are going to struggle. This is why you have 2 great goalies.
Why?
That wasn't the last time we're going to see Ville Husso in this playoffs, because I don't entirely trust Jordan Binnington.
Of course not. Why would
And then when he falters, Ville Husso will get his spot back.
he sure will.
So I'm not too concerned. What was impressive about the Blues and their victory, they did it with 7 defensemen. Yeah, they played a little funky. Torrey Krug's going to be out for a while.
That's right.
That's a bummer for them.
Nick Leddy and Robert Bertuzzo weren't ready for Game 4. So, yeah, they went with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen.
That's so counterintuitive. They're short defensemen, so they're using more.
Right.
Just to spread it out.
To spread it out, yeah. And they played an exceptional game. And there's something to be said for NHL teams being given a challenge and stepping up in weird circumstances. And I love what I see out of the Blues. Also, the Jordan Binnington thing you brought up last episode about how fans get mad at us for talking about how he
punches air and
hothead and all that stuff.
He is.
So prior to the game, they tell him, "Hey, you're going to be starting," and then his reaction is just, "Okay." So apparently, he's a quiet guy. That's what I just assumed he's what he is.
No, he's quiet in interviews.
So he's a quiet. So I guess that's why fans don't like when we're like, "Oh, Jordan Binnington is the hothead," and that stuff.
No, they don't
his
like when we
personality.
clown their favorite goalie because he fake punches people and then lets his teammates take the fall for it. I think that's the issue I have had with Jordan Binnington. And people are like, but he does other stuff too. I'm like, I understand that he's also a good goalie and won a Stanley Cup and the Leafs haven't won 67. I fucking get it, man. I get it. But he still fake punches people and then goes, okay, team, I started a fight. You go finish it.
He wouldn't be the first player to be a completely different person off the ice than on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for most players, I would argue that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think. Well, Steve, I would
They're
even.
better people off the ice.
I would argue that you're not LFR Steve most of the time.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
I just didn't know that about his personality. But this is why when you have the discussions about, who's going to take the reins, Binnington or Husso, this is why you don't trade one of them at the trade deadline. This is why you play out the season with Husso as a UFA. This is why you accept Binnington's giant contract extension and he hasn't lived up to it yet. And then you reach this point in the playoffs where one guy's struggling, you throw in the next guy and he's motivated and he plays well.
By the way, that Binnington game just got you a perfect trade in the offseason. Because he just put in a great game.
Yep.
He had a .933 save percentage in the playoffs. General manager's going to go, you know what? I don't want to watch the whole fucking game to see or have a look at the season. I know he did well in that one game in the playoffs. $6 million, we can handle it. Let's go.
You're going to be like a junior scout and skip the third.
And Tarasenko had, I think he comes off the book, so they'll be able to re-sign Husso.
Yeah, and I mean, if they do trade Binnington, it'll be an off-season move.
100%. Well,
Yeah.
it has to be.
And
I think at this
Edmonton's
point it
the
might
hot
have to be.
no, sorry. That was an incomplete thought. It was always going to be that way is what I meant to say. I never understood the trade deadline. Yeah, fuck. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
No.
Yeah.
By the way,
You can ride the hot
mid-playoffs,
hand.
he's gone.
You can ride the hot hand, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I love the St. Louis Blues. I got them going deep, and I hope they pull out 2 more games.
every round in the playoffs, I always believe it's good to pick especially if your team's in it. So I only ever get to do this for the first round. But if your team is not in it even, it's good to pick a series that you're not emotionally attached to and you just watch for the entertainment. And New York and Pittsburgh has just been fucking great. Every game.
Such a good job of shutting my brain off for that series.
It's the best. You're just like, okay, Crosby's amazing. Malkin's amazing. Shesterkin. What? They pulled him. Georgiev comes in. Oh my God, New York's coming back. Like this series, every game could have gone completely the opposite direction.
I've been watching this like I'm at medieval times.
Yeah.
More wine.
Yeah.
More grog. Like I don't care who wins. Entertain me. And the amount of storylines. Oh, it's wonderful. What wonderful viewing.
I think that I know that the Hart votes have been cast, but I think a lot of them were magically changed once Shesterkin was pulled out, further putting him down further on the list of Hart Trophy candidates. Even though the award's been voted on, he has to lose votes now.
Do you think he ends up top 3?
In the Hart?
I don't.
Like goaltenders on the Rangers? No.
No, in the Hart Trophy candidate? It's hard for goalies, right? They don't necessarily ever get the favor that they should for it.
What a crop. It's really, if he doesn't end up in the top 3, I don't think it's an insult to him.
No.
I mean, he's going to win the Vezina. Is that not enough?
I want to shout out the Gensel, Crosby, Rust line one time. Through the first 3 games, this is from Jesse Marshall, they've controlled 60% of the 5-on-5 shot attempts. 60% of 5-on-5 shots from that line, controlling 76% of 5-on-5 expected goals, outchancing New York. Gensel, Crosby, and Rust are outchancing the Rangers 45-14. Crosby is on fire.
Yeah. Well, and also Brian Rust doesn't get enough credit for being Mecha Donk. Like he's the final boss of Mark Donks. Like he's the Mark Donk that stuck around. Like he's so good.
I think there's something to be said, and Steve, you mentioned this a couple episodes ago about somebody else, but watching players that people will be nostalgic about, but in their time.
No, you mentioned it about Crosby.
That was about Crosby.
Yeah.
Again, watching him this weekend, I was like, man, talk about a guy who is literally on fire. Unbelievable.
Through the legs pass.
Like, what the fuck
How do you
was
have
that?
a sexy empty netter assist? Stop that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I highly recommend, because you know what? It's fun. Pittsburgh is like, will they ever be together again? That's the position they're in. And New York's we're on up and coming. It's just perfect. Mwah.
They're the Eagles. Like just,
What?
so many farewell
The band?
tours.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, not Philadelphia. Yeah, no, sorry, nothing about the Penguins is Philadelphia.
No, for sure.
They just
very different.
Yeah, I can't wait for their farewell tour next year.
It's going to be fantastic. So, those
Probably not as good as the 2020.
No.
What do you want to mention?
Mention the other series you haven't brought up.
Which one did I forget?
Yeah. Huh?
It's probably
I thought you
forgettable.
might have something to say.
I
about
don't know.
that.
I think it's forgettable.
No, what
It's
happened?
forgettable.
No.
What happened?
I think it's forgettable too. I think we should gloss over Connor Ingram getting the brakes beaten off him by the Colorado Avalanche.
Connor Ingram's.
Oh my God.
By the way, Connor Ingram's goals against average is now at 371, and his save percentage is down to 879. I was trying to get out of that for you, but it wasn't good.
Thanks, pal.
It wasn't good, man.
Why did you try to get out of me getting my ass kicked by Jesse? That's so against your nature.
Well, I just felt bad, Felt bad.
That's fair. For me or Ingram?
Both. It was
Fair.
That was tough.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I
6
think Colorado
goals.
might win this game this series.
Yeah, 6 goals against, 35 saves on 41 shots.
I must-
854.
But do you not expect Nashville to get one?
Dude, okay, here, wait.
One?
So he faced 41 shots, 51 shots, and in his first game, he only faced 32 shots. Oh, wait a sec. That was in just 45 minutes.
He came in relief.
Oh my god!
It's like
not close.
Colorado's playing in a batting cage, but for slap shots.
Like
It's unbelievable.
I don't like. They're playing so well that I don't know how much of a difference Saros would have made.
Oh no, yeah.
They're killing them. I didn't expect this. I thought it'd be a little bit more along the lines of Dallas Calgary, where it's a little bit more of a dogfight. They're getting.
I think
caved.
I think the reality is too, guys. If we're being honest, the top end of the Western Conference has some amazing teams, but the fall off is pretty quick after about 4. Okay, compare the wild card 2 spot in the East and the West. You got Nashville and you got the Caps. The Caps would fuck up the Predators too.
Yeah, there's a wild card team beating the Flames though.
No, I'm on Adam's side about the East is just so much
It's
stronger.
just
It's
it's stronger in the conference. Like you can tell, I get that the results are different. I'm not saying that, a wild card team can't upset, but to be honest with you, the East is not even close. Every team in the playoffs got 100 points. That's the fucking cutoff.
That's crazy.
Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Like that.
100 is
There's not even a
the
question.
cutoff. It's the cutoff. What a great way to put it.
If we saw a
minimum.
1 through 16 seeding, like it'd be so much different.
Oh,
The
It
majority,
would.
yeah.
Ooh, that would be fun.
I like that.
I like that too. I think that they don't want to do that for travel reasons, but God, that would be sick.
There's a reason no league has gone to that.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool.
So in a 1 through 16,
Thank you.
in the top 8 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Eastern Conference teams. So it's 5 versus 3.
And then in the bottom 8, how many of them? Where would the Eastern Conference be? Teams be? They'd be probably 7, 8, 9
through 16. So it's the Kings, Dallas, and Nashville will round out 14, 15, and 16. So those bottom 3 in the 1 through 16 would all be Western Conference teams.
Wow.
Vegas still misses the playoffs by 3 points.
Yeah.
Leafs would play the Penguins, by the way.
That wouldn't be a fun series for the Leafs.
4 versus 12, yeah.
It's the playoffs. There are no fun series.
Do you guys want to hear it was just announced today. Wow, there's a lot of news today. You would think it was Friday night at 4:00 and we're watching the NHLPA feed. But actually it's Monday early afternoon. And
Get it? Because they suck.
we have the roster for the 2022 IIHF World Championship in Helsinki, Finland.
Hey.
And Tampere as well. So here we have, do you want to know who's on the roster?
Please.
Josh Anderson, Matt Barzal, Drake Batherson, Max Comtois, Dylan Cousins, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Morgan Geekie, Noah Gregor, Kent Johnson, Adam Lowry, Dawson Mercer, Eric Odell, Nicholas Roy, and Cole Sillinger on forward. On defense, Hot Sam Bacho, Thomas Chabot, Ryan Graves, Nick Holden, Dyson Mayo, Travis Sanheim, Damon Severson, and Zach Whitecloud. That's future Canuck Damon Severson. And then the goalies, Drieger, Logan Thompson, Matt Tompkins.
Who is Matt Tompkins?
I thought you might know.
No.
Do you know everybody else on that roster?
Who's Dyson Mayo?
Dyson Mayo is winner of the best name in the NHL award and also a defenseman for the Arizona Coyotes. That's why you don't know.
So Matt Tompkins is a 2012 pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, 7th round, 199th overall. He is Frölunda's goalie this year.
Västra Frölunda.
And started the season really strong at a .908 save percentage. A little bit bad on the other half of the season.
That's a weird one.
It says here's how HockeyDB has it. It's 2021, and then it has 2021-22 P. So I'm assuming.
Playoffs.
Oh, he didn't do great in the playoffs, but he did great in the regular season.
And Eric Odell, I think, is a KHL guy.
Okay.
I think he's a former. Who's Noah Gregor? Is that a young guy? I don't know Noah Gregor. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I.
Sharks draft pick.
Yeah.
Played 63 games for the Sharks this year. Had a sparkling -21 plus minus. But I mean, the Sharks suck ass. Hey, did you also see the? They're terrible. Their roster construction's terrible. They suck. Did you see the Erik Karlsson,
Brent Burns? Yeah. They got to fix the right side of their knee, is the report.
So, and they're saying that Erik Karlsson's never fully been a fit there, and that's very clear.
Yep. I mean, yeah. It's a bit of an expensive, not good fit.
But here's the thing: at $11 million, who's taking Erik Karlsson now?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it 11.5?
You got to retain a whole bunch of 50% on that.
Oh, can't.
Why not?
Because that's $5.5 million or something.
So,
like
and you
here's-
want to get rid of him?
Here's what you need to know too. Erik Karlsson's deal, $11.5 million. It started off with signing bonuses, but it's So
he ain't going to Arizona.
your base salary, your base salary next year. There's like a year after here where he's going to make 10.5, 10. Yeah, he's not moving to a cheap team.
Oh my God!
It
When
goes
does
to
it
26,
end?
27. That's a bad fucking contract.
Oh my God!
No, wait. It's
Yeah.
not 26, 27.
That's what it goes to.
UFA at the end of.
No, I'm looking
I
at
see.
it.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, because Cap Friendly couldn't.
Yeah, it would be
display
here
the
and
UFA.
say.
So
UFA.
only now
Buy
listen.
him out. Buy him out.
53 million of his salary is signing bonuses, but that still leaves another 39 million. So like this year his base salary is 5.5 million, but the total salary is 14 million. Like had they paid the majority of this
That's
up front,
fine.
this would have been a tradable deal. But they're not. They're
It's
not.
a shame because, like, I feel like the Sharks actually have kind of done some good things and have some good young players, but they really.
So buy him out, Jesse.
Well, yeah, like they can't move on with their franchise as long as they have.
And Mark,
Holy shit! Oh,
okay, what is it?
why is it set up like this?
Explain it.
Okay. I don't understand why it is set up like this. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's a pain in the ass. So his cap hit next year. Here it is year by year. And I want you to go, when you hear something that's confusing to you, okay? 11.3. That's a big cap hit. Then 2.8. Then 3.3. Then 9.3. Then 11.8. Then 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8.
You actually
Why?
you save money. Look at the savings.
I mean, not every year.
Yeah, but then when you lose money, it's not that much.
Yeah, but like, why isn't it not just the same amount of money every year? What?
That'd be too easy.
What is this galaxy brain bullshit? How do you go 11, 2, 3, 9, 11, 1, 1? Look, why?
You know what
Why?
sucks about being a fan of the NHL? We all have to be
Like the
amateur
vast majority of
capologists.
things. Like,
No, that just this. Why do we all have to become amateur capologists? We could have made this simple, make the numbers round, make the process easy.
do you know how blind we would be to
Without cap
every
friendly.
aspect of the NHL without this website?
I know. And the NHL doesn't even offer it. They're like, no, fans don't care about that.
That's a Gary Bettman quote.
And like,
He has said that fans wouldn't care about a website like this.
shut up. Most of his quotes suck. And like, we're lucky to even have it because most guys who have had a website,
They got bought.
well, they get hired by a team and then the website goes offline. Dom with Cap Friendly was hired by a team and it stayed.
Oh.
Yes.
What about there was the original. There was Extra Skater,
Cap Geek.
Cap Geek.
He passed away, unfortunately.
Oh man. And
Yeah,
then
Matt West.
Tom from General Manager.
He's with Vegas, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Extra Skaters with the Leafs. Yeah, bunch of websites or like guys who had like blogs with useful information and they took it offline, and it's difficult to get quality information that's public in the National Hockey League. And Cap Friendly, God, be still my beating heart. I love you. Please never leave us.
And whenever you DM them, like whenever we've DM'd them in the past, they've been amazing about it. So they're a great site.
how does this work? And then they tell you with detail that's entirely unnecessary how it works.
It's amazing.
Like, so above and beyond in every scenario. God, I love them.
Shall we do the press conference? Hey, get all your NHL playoff action at Sports Interaction. If you're looking for action and interaction and sports interaction.
It's in the name.
Exactly. Before the game starts, live and in play, or, betting on how your favorite player will perform. Canada plays at SIA, doing it right since 1997.
1997.
1997.
Sorry, I get the read too.
Okay, with the most competitive odds, Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Head over to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's right, we have a new landing page. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus, play responsibly. Guys, clients demand instant responses.
They do.
Now more than ever. But businesses are spread thin, And if you're losing leads from visits to your website or missing calls that could grow your business, you might want to check out Smith AI. Okay? Check this out. Smith AI is not your average receptionist service. Since 2015, they've combined the best receptionists across North America with AI technology for superior business communications and customer engagement. And here's the thing. Their friendly and professional agents will help you screen calls, get you the leads you need, complete criteria, and actually schedule appointments in your calendar.
Whoa.
You didn't need to hit the table like that. But you're so passionate.
No. Subwoofer guys.
Sorry.
So mad.
Smith AI. Work uninterrupted. Run your business with less stress and get more leads from marketing efforts. Smith AI pays for itself. And listeners will save $100 when you sign up using our promo code SDP at smith.ai. Visit smith.ai for a 5-star review. You can read all the reviews that are there. Be sure to use the code SDP. Again, it's SDP to save $100 at sign up. Don't let another day go by. Try Smith AI.
How do you spell the code?
SDP.
Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Whether you're just a Leafs fan or you need therapy, BetterHelp is the place for you. Now listen, I make a joke, but all of us on this show have been to therapy, have found it immensely useful. But the thing is, a lot of things, what holds people back from going to therapy is sometimes you don't want to do in person. Sometimes it's the cost.
You're embarrassed that a hockey team is sending
you to therapy. Maybe
but
it's
then you
that
discover
too.
it's maybe not the hockey team and it's something else you got going.
100%, right? Sometimes it's a symptom, maybe not the problem, as my therapist would say. Wow. So let's talk about BetterHelp, because you can chat live, you can do video sessions, but you don't have to. That's the great thing. I love the chat feature because not everybody's comfortable talking, and sometimes you get it out better when you write it. And this is what's so great about BetterHelp. So listen, check out BetterHelp. If you're feeling a little stressed, if you're feeling like you need someone to talk to, it's a tune-up for your mind. It's like working out, but for your brain, and it does actually work, and we all can attest to that. Much more affordable than in-person therapy as well. You get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours, so it's quick. And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Steve Dangle Podcast listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/SDP.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
I have a question, Jesse. Can we name this show "Steve was wrong" or "I was wrong about Connor Ingram" now? Because Friday's show was "I was right about Connor Ingram." Can we now name it "I was wrong about Connor Ingram"?
Only fire you're playing with is they play tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But it might be funny when he gets a shutout.
Do you go back to David Ridge?
No!
Why not? They've had the
He's bad.
But
Next question.
Similar results.
They've had similar results.
Go with the experience. You know what? Sometimes you just need a little vomit in there. Vomit in the crease.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going vomit today.
Yeah?
No.
Okay. Connor Ingram tonight. Okay. We can definitely name it that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
One thing I want to bring up before I get to a question here. On Wednesday, I stream on Twitch every Wednesday and Friday. On Wednesday, we've been doing a little F1, and I'm going to host an open lobby race. So you can go online, you can set your own races, and anybody can join. So at 6 p.m. Eastern, if you want to race, if you want to join our race on Twitch, just be on F1 2021 at 6 p.m.
That is sick.
On Eastern, and then every member of the Dangle Navy, there's 20 spots, so only 19 other drivers can get in. But if you're one of the first 19 other drivers to hop in, get in there, and then you'll be on the Twitch racing me.
Now, are you gonna do qualifying too?
Yeah, I'll set it up. I'll set up the weekend structure, so you do like your weekend structure. I'll set up like a one-shot qualifying, so everybody has to qualify one time, and then we'll do the race. I don't know what track we'll do yet. Maybe like, I don't know, Montreal, I guess, because Canada.
Do something wild like Imola or something.
Yeah, or like Abu Dhabi.
Oh,
just fucking street courses.
Actually, that fucking Miami track this week was crazy. There's some. By the way, they built. I really love this. They built South Beach into the track because it's not on the beach, right? So they built it around the football stadium, and they literally put like a fake beach in with pools.
There's a fake marina, and they put boats on top of the fake marina, but it's not actual water. It's like concrete, but it looks from overhead, like a drone cam. It looks like there's a marina in the track. It's really cool.
It was good.
People were the weekend was just people making memes about it.
Oh, it was great.
It was fantastic.
I loved it. I know Steve cares. Yeah. Anyway, okay.
So Wednesday, I'm just gonna have an open lobby race, and I'm gonna be live on Twitch. So if you're around playing your own game,
wait, do I have access to? Can I do that here or no? Am I able to do that with my current setup?
Yeah.
Could I join?
You could do this too. Yeah.
Could I? Actually?
Yeah. Or you could join this race. Yeah.
Do we have the camera? Like, do I have a camera?
We
where I
ask
can
that
join?
at least once a week.
Yeah, literally, you asked
And is the
this
answer
like
yes?
2 times a week.
Okay, can we set that up? I want to join this race.
It was
Yeah.
yes last time too.
Yeah, it was. I think it was.
Hey, you know what?
It was this exact same thing. But yeah,
You better
at 6
watch out.
p.m.
You
If
better
you want
watch
to join
out.
our race, hop on our Discord. I'll have some more details in there. There's an SDPN live server where I write things about like the live streams that are happening. So yeah, join there. We'll give you some more details if you need it. But yeah, if you're interested in that, if you play F1, join us 6 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. First question. This is from Ryan Q. Who is your white whale show guest that the fans might not expect? What does that mean?
I'm assuming that they're referencing Chicklets having Gretzky on because that's what Biz called it. He called it. I saw it come up on
Your
TikTok.
white whale is basically like you're like impossible to catch, like thing.
Yeah.
Like this is unattainable. But if I could get it,
Okay, who's that for you guys?
It's our Moby Dick, basically.
yeah.
All right.
That's a really good question. Now, I mean, I think if you'd asked a few years ago, I mean,
it would have been Ron McLean.
Ron
we got
McLean,
him.
Lou Lamoriello would be one.
Oh,
Lou would be a big one because I don't think why would he ever do this show for any reason?
Shanny.
Yeah, Shanny's a good one.
Yeah.
Because here's the like even Kyle would be an interesting one because he only makes time for 2 shows.
Kyle?
It's usually the fan afternoon show and the TSN afternoon show, and that's it.
And those are kind of like obligations because they own the team. So
and he's got to talk to someone.
When
right?
there's a big media avail, he makes himself available to those 2 networks.
Yeah. Like I know that the Leafs are aware of this show, and I know that from time to time they get upset with some of the things we say. But I know that but I don't believe that like it would be the same as like the fan or TSN saying it.
We also have a lot of support within the organization. It totally depends on the individual.
Yeah.
I'm gonna narrow this down. You got to give me 1 hockey answer and 1 non-hockey answer.
Oh man.
You get your 1 guess from each of those 2 categories.
So do one of us take Lou? One of us got to take Lou, right? I don't mind taking Lou.
You take Lou, I'll take Shanny.
Done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Lou would be. I mean, who in the hockey world is not fascinated by Lou Lamoriello and continually shocked? Here's the problem with the Lou interview, though. Can you get him talking? Because I have yet to see an interview where Lou Lamoriello is like telling stories.
That could be your not white whale. It could be your Mona Lisa.
It would be your money. I don't know if that'd be one of those ones. Like I don't get intimidated for interviews. That'd be one of those ones where I would be.
That'd be
Absolutely.
Like, what a challenge.
Yeah. Because Lou is so good. He's charming, right? Like I remember that Mitch Marner interview years ago before Mitch Marner was a Leaf. And they had drafted him and he'd spent the year in London just shredding the league. He won the MVP, he won every trophy you could win. They won the championship, whatever. And Lou Lamoriello was like, well, we'll see if he's in shape enough to be on the team. And he said it with like a smile. And I'm like, damn it. That's crazy. How did he say that about one of his top prospects? And nobody's upset about it. There's something about Lou that you're like, okay, all right, I'll accept that. So yeah. And then otherwise,
Non-hockey's, please go first because that's it's kind of my entire life, so it's a little difficult.
who would be? I think it would have to be one that's relevant to the show, right? You never want to have a guest on that people are like, what the fuck? Like, unless you know it's going to be really entertaining. And I think in podcasting in general, I think as a genre, podcasting overdoes the guests thing. And oftentimes that's because, it's a singular host and they're hosting with somebody else. But I really like to hear just my normal podcasts talk amongst themselves. And if a guest is coming on, they add to the conversation rather than change the nature of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? That's how I like to do it. But I would say that, I think like a Vince Vaughn would be interesting because he's a hockey fan.
No, see, but you're getting him for like hockey purposes.
Yeah, well, but this is the context of the show. That's what I said I was going to do.
Like I was thinking, I'm like, oh, Will Ferrell goes to Kings games, but like, yeah, it's
Snoop Dogg. No, I'm kidding. No, it's Snoop Dogg.
No,
although
but,
he'd be funny.
Everyone's like, that's not even a white whale. It's just, I'm sure we could literally get Snoop Dogg on the show.
And
I don't even think it'd be that hard.
If Will Ferrell is promoting a movie, he does a lot of promotion.
Yeah.
So you probably could. Yeah. The outside of hockey, I don't know.
You don't have an answer.
I'll say Vince Vaughn because he's famous and he likes hockey, and I think he'd be a fun guest. but I have no idea how we'd reach out to him.
Either Roger Clark
Who is that?
or Benjamin Byron Davis,
Roger
who
Clark's been on the show.
respectively played Arthur Morgan and Dutch Vanderland
Okay, all right.
from Red Dead Redemption.
And that would just be the all Steve visa.
Yeah.
Be great.
Yeah, it
Okay.
would.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, you guys can take the show.
Jesse, do you want to answer it or no?
No, I haven't been thinking about it.
Or the guy who, oh man, I forget his name. The guy who plays Bill Williamson is like, it's amazing because he's in both Red Dead games and simultaneously like the biggest Red Dead Redemption fan in the world.
When are you gonna stream another episode of Red Dead Dangle Redemption?
I was thinking about that. We have sort of lost the momentum after my first stream, but it's got to. It's going to be soon. Don't you worry. It's
Gonna be after the playoffs. I don't think.
I would like to do one mid playoffs, but the first round is insanity.
Oh yeah.
The first round is always.
One thing that happens
Nuts.
with as exciting as the playoffs is, there's a little bit of a lull when you reach the conference finals because there's only the 2 series.
Yeah,
and it goes. And
Yeah.
the NHL does an all right job scheduling back-to-back nights,
Yes.
usually most of the time because hockey is crazy like that. But like if there's that little break in between and there's only one game on a night, there is a little bit more time during round number 3.
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
The Leafs are going to be there.
By the way,
So it's amazing how many people remember I exist when the Leafs are in the playoffs. So I've been very busy.
I want to shout out Matt Larkin's tweet before we get to the next question here. It's about Barry Trotz, but I thought it was good. I know we just talked about that, but Barry Trotz's 4th season with the Islanders. Season 1, Jack Adams. 2, Final 4 loss to the eventual Cup champs. 3, Final 4 loss to the eventual Cup champs. 4, 13-game road trip, 50 games in 99 days to end the season. And he says there has to be more to this than canning that meets the eye. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't get along.
It's very.
And it was suspicious in Washington too. But he was in to balance that, Steve. He was in Nashville for 28 million years.
Right? Like
since real predators existed.
Yes.
Like real saber-toothed tigers existed when Barry Trotz took over.
The fossil that they found under the building was alive.
That's it was his pet actually. He grew up with it. Go ahead, Jesse. Next question.
I'm not really sure how to pronounce your name. Livion on our press
Le'Veon?
conference. Maybe. On our press conference questions channel. Did you figure it out?
No, I wanted to get out of your way.
Okay. Big time fan from Sweden here. Thank you for all the great content.
Tack så mycket.
We are in the middle, bless you. We are in the middle of our finals of the SHL, and the crowd here is getting crazy loud. Something big we have here in Sweden is a designated standing cheering fans part of the arena, where you're expected to not just cheer, but go further beyond and give it your all with chants and cheers all game long. By the way, these tickets are also usually cheaper to award these chants. It also has a spiraling effect on the rest of the crowd to join in every game. This part of hockey has always been missing for me when I watch the NHL, and I wish it was there because it has the potential to be insanely epic. So my question for you is, what's your thoughts about the impact of the crowd, and wouldn't you want something akin to the SHL to make its way to the NHL? Here is a good example. So they've linked to a YouTube video for everybody watching. I'll throw up a picture on the video, but here is, it's a little longer. It's like 13 minutes. Let me find here we go. So this is the chanting crowd section.
I fucking love this.
Isn't this awesome?
This rules.
Yeah, so I'll pull up the image there. But yeah, this is the chanting crowd section where they all just stand and chant all game long.
Yes.
It's pretty damn cool.
Should we have that? Yes.
Well, the Canucks are trying.
Yeah, they are.
They
And good
tried
for
it.
them.
Did they?
Yeah, they did like a little pilot project sort of at the end of the season. And who's in charge of that? Their Swedish GM, Patrick Alvin.
No way.
Right?
Wow, I didn't know this.
So the Europeans are doing their best to get us up out of our seats. I've told you guys about this. Like the fans in look at them.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
incredible.
The fans
The
in
jumping in unison.
Dynamo Minsk.
Where they they run at each other like it's a mosh pit.
They did a conga line. Oh, I
was the
don't
fan?
remember if they're the ones who.
No, that
Yeah.
was who's got the scary polar bear? Who's the
Tractor. Chelyabinsk.
Wasn't it them that they kind of clear out the section and they all run at each other and hit each other?
It also might have been Zagreb when they were in the KHL briefly, where they go, oh,
man.
they go, ah! They run into each other. Like, look at that. Dude, ass hanging out, hopping over the boards. Yeah, you would never see that in North America.
No. European fans, sporting fans, do things so much differently than they do over here.
Well, yeah, but look, it's all adults.
It seems like it's so much fun.
Here. It's like a family outing.
Yeah.
Which is...
That's true.
Odd. Like, I've told you a bunch of times that football match I went to in Aberdeen, and like the youngest people I saw there were like, I don't know, 12, 13, and they were swearing too. Mm-hmm. It's like, those are all adults. Those are all adults, or at very least teenagers losing their mind and having fun.
I guess it's different. Yeah, because here it has to be a family event. There's so much of...
Matt Sundin co-owns that team, I believe, by the way. That's your
No way.
Yeah.
He played for them, right?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
I guess
what were you saying?
we'd have to change the nature of North American sports where it's not supposed to be a family event.
But
right?
I think if you watch a North American concert versus a European concert, you get a very different crowd as well. I think it's a cultural thing. Like, yeah, I don't know if you want to go back this far, but I remember I had the Live Aid DVDs from 1985, and you see like the Queen set and the whole fucking 120,000 people at the O2 were just, that's not the O2, it was pre the O2, just jumping up and down like this. And, then they switch it over to the North American audience, which I believe was in Philly. And they're like just kind of standing there watching, occasional claps. It is different. It's very, very different. If you watch any of those like Glastonbury festivals, they're fucking crazy there. Crazy. Whereas in North America, it's like, hey guys, get out of my personal space. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's different.
Bugs Bunny lied to me my entire childhood.
Why?
That like Brits are boring and like Europeans are like, oh, and they're just very prim and proper and they sit there. No, we're the boring ones. We're far and away the boring ones. Look at that.
Yeah, you guys do a great job over there.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That, we got to get over. We've got to go see 100%. Games there. We have got to do that.
Problem is the hockey season, right? Like, I want to go over there and see a game, but their season ends before ours. So, like, we would have to make a concerted effort to go to Sweden in the winter.
Which is fine.
You doing that? You doing that? I would.
I would do that.
I would.
Yeah. Well, when else you want to see Sweden? You want to see it? Oh, everybody's like, summer in Sweden. That's when you want to go. No, Sweden is a winter country. You want to see it in the winter.
Yeah, big proponent of that. You go to cold places when it's cold.
Can we après ski
in
Sweden?
And we probably could podcast there too.
While we après ski.
What is that?
That means after ski.
It's the sitting in the cabin while everybody out is skiing, or you're done.
Yeah, you're supposed to be done skiing.
I thought you were saying, can we ski? And I'm like, oh fuck.
No. I just want to do the après.
No, man. The skiing part is
ski, no problem.
I grew up skiing. Skiing's boring. The après ski is the fun part.
Skiing kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you're gonna get a lot of kickback on that. But
Am
I used to love it, and I just every time I've gone as an adult, I'm like this. I'm bored. Sport. But I hear snowboarding's great.
It slides with more steps. It's going down the slide, but with more steps.
Yes.
Like but so much harder and dangerous.
Yeah. I heard snowboarding too. You fall on your ass basically the entire first season and then you get it.
Yeah.
So you got to be down.
I wish I was like my friend's kids. Like he taught them how to snowboard from the time they were 2.
That's how you want to do it.
They'll never forget. But if you're me, if you're 34 and you're trying snowboarding for the first time, I think you might hurt yourself.
I think we have something to do.
Yeah.
Next winter. We're going to get Steve out snowboarding.
Yeah.
We're going to ruin his back.
Oh, there's a good idea.
I don't want that.
You know what I want to do? I want to go to Europe with Steve just to see him complain about his back on the plane ride over.
No, I would
imagine him sitting for that long.
I would not complain about my back. I would complain about the fight I got into with the guy behind me because I was reclining my seat so I could avoid back pain.
Nobody fights about reclining seats unless you're the seats recline like 2 feet or 2 centimeters is nothing. No one gets into a fight about that anymore.
But then I got to go to Scotland because I'm there.
Right. Yeah. Well, listen, it wouldn't be a good vacation if you didn't visit Scotland.
It's a tough one. Like, I want to visit Guernsey just for a few days. It's an island off the coast of France, but it belongs to Britain because it's where my grandma's from.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go there, but my wife is not sold.
On Guernsey?
It's an island of like 60,000 people.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, you know what there is to do there? Go get fish and chips.
Yeah. That's actually
But like, that sounds great to me.
The Nazis occupied it.
Yes, they did. It was the only island of Britain they occupied.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I looked up that history.
Interesting. All right.
A family fled. You
hold
would
on,
know that
I'm gonna go,
if
what
you read the book.
Can you do in Guernsey?
End the show.
No. What can you do in Guernsey? Let's find out. 15 best things to do in Guernsey, according to TripAdvisor. You can check out the evacuation, occupation, and liberation. And you can also check out, did you watch the movie or read the book about the potato peel pie and the Guernsey thing?
No.
There's like a whole thing. There's a movie about it.
Oh.
You could take the coastal small group tour.
Wow.
There's a medieval St. Peter's port.
People are turning this show off.
There's a bridge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be into the medieval fort.
Do you see why it's a tough sell?
It's a bit of a tough sell.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do the show extra.
Kind of thinking I might leave her in Scotland and go by myself for a couple days, but I don't know.
Just go by yourself to Guernsey.
Yeah, and she can stay with family.
Okay. Alone in Guernsey.
Or I'll bring Leo and he'll have fun.
Yeah.
I'll be like, look, here's a rock. And he'll be like, yo, that's sick. I'm a toddler. I don't know.
All right. Hey, if you've been to Guernsey, please reach out to Steve and tell him what he can do while he's there. Sounds fun.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection